Good morning. In today's video, we're going to be taking you on 2 day trips from London. Today's Oxford, tomorrow is Bath. Got to see if this guy is ready. We're about to go out for a coffee actually, if this guy hurries up.
I'm getting there. I've just got to fit all of that into there and we're good to go. While we're out for coffee, we'll give you a bit of a tour of the Airbnb, because I think we said it in the last video, we love it here. The host is amazing.
We don't normally pick up the camera so spontaneously and do Airbnb tours like this, but we had to for this one because it is so cute and definitely the most colourful place we've ever stayed at.
I think it's the most homely or home we've ever felt since leaving Melbourne.
All right, first up, bed test. I fell a bit too soon there. Oh, it's super comfy. I think it's a queen bed, but I think we'll have a very good night's sleep here. Might do the bathroom now while we're here. So there's a step there. The really cute little ensuite. So gorgeous. I love that basin. And the owner is so lovely. She's from Mexico, so you can see a lot of the Mexican sort of colors and influence throughout the apartment. Let's head on through. She's also a baker, apparently. So she has welcomed us with some, I think she said it was banana and walnut bread.
Looks pretty good. We're about to boil a kettle and make a cup of tea.
Fresh fruit. Come on through. We've got a very much appreciated dryer
or washer. Dryer combo.
Yeah. Microwave, toaster, kettle, all of that sort of stuff. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I mean, it's a fridge, a freezer, but there are some provisions there to sort of get us started, I guess, with what we want to cook.
We're excited for this though, the oven.
Yeah, I love cooking while we're away, and I haven't been able to because we haven't had a kitchen.
It's definitely all the little things that count when you check into an Airbnb. She did ask what milk Kristy drinks, so she's given us a thing of oat milk and a homemade thin jam, which is going to go really good with that cake.
I didn't even look at that.
Fully stocked kitchen. We've got everything we ever want to make coffees, teas.
And I think because we are traveling long term, we just really appreciate and are super grateful when we get to an Airbnb, because you kind of never really know until you get somewhere and you meet the host and you sort of check out where you're staying. So it is like, I don't know, it's such a great feeling when you are happy where you're staying. I forgot to mention the cost. I need to double check, but it's around 80 Australian dollars a night. So what's that, 40 British pound? Such good value. And oh, this banana bread, walnut bread is delicious.
Let's hit the road.
Because we do have a car, it's going to take about an hour to get from where we're staying in Chippenham to Oxford. If you were getting a train from London, I think it was about an hour, did you say, Steve? What was that noise?
It's just the brakes.
Is the handbrake off?
Nah, we've just jumped in the car.
Oh my God, we don't drive too often, as you can probably see and hear. Oh my God.
But yeah, it's about an hour on the train from London to Oxford. But yeah, we've obviously got the car and we're basing ourselves in Chippenham just to make it easier to explore as much of the countryside as possible.
Also, while it's fresh in my mind, I always thought that the UK used the metric system. Turns out they do not, and it seems everything is in the imperial system. We were driving down one of the motorways, and the sign said 50, half a mile. It's confusing, isn't it? We were driving down 50, what we thought was 50 kilometers per hour. It was 50 miles per hour. We were going so slow. 50 miles is about 80 kilometers. So anyway, I don't even know if any of that made sense, but it's super confusing, as are the roundabouts. Steve has a little bit of trouble navigating around those, don't you?
I don't know if it's trouble, but it's more, I find the roundabouts here are just a bit of a free-for-all. Once you enter a roundabout, it doesn't feel like there's a good way to exit a roundabout. You've just got to throw an indicator and make sure no one's next to you to exit. Also, speed limits.
I don't think that speed limits are a thing on the freeway, because there's no signs indicating how fast to go, and we usually sit on about maybe 100 kilometers an hour, so 60 miles per hour. People fly past us, and I am talking about like flying, like going at least 140 kilometers per hour. So I don't know. Let us know if there is a speed limit on the free. I keep going to say autobahn.
It feels like the autobahn.
Yeah.
People just fly by in the right hand lane.
hour and a half later when we're here in Oxford. We parked a little bit out of the main sort of area to try and save money on parking, but it ended up being, what, £13?
Yep, it's £13. Steve was so annoyed because I got out of the car to pay, and then I came back and I'm like, oh yeah, pay for parking. And he's like, how much? I'm like, oh, £13, which is about 25, 26 Australian dollars for 2 hours.
So it's probably definitely cheaper to catch a train than to hire a car, drive here with fuel, and then park.
Yep. First stop, though, we are pretty hungry. It's lunchtime. We haven't had breakfast yet, so we're going to a place called the Covered Market. It was established in the 1700s, so we're going to grab some lunch there and hope that it's not too busy. So far, so
It's pretty quiet.
Wow.
Look at this.
Buildings.
The market here is open 7 days a week, starting from 8 a.m, except for Sundays where it opens at 10. And it's got a really good mix of food, sort of souvenirs, there's barbers, there's lots of cafes, lots of ice cream, which Kristy is actually trying to swindle me in buying an ice cream.
I just saw a milkshake called the Annabelle. We've got a niece Annabelle, so maybe we have to get that.
After walking around for about 15 minutes checking out the whole market, we've decided to stop in and get some curries.
Yes, I got a tofu yellow Thai chicken, no, tofu yellow curry with a green goddess dressing. I think it might be like coriander or something. Seeds and broccoli. Steve, what did you got? A beef stew?
I went for the Mexican beef stew,
Yep.
spicy coriander topping or sauce on the top. I don't know, I woke up this morning and just felt like curry. So we're
He
here.
did say that.
Yeah.
He did say that, and literally the first thing we saw is.
So,
Let's just have little bits of hair in it.
that could be from like ginger. Remember
We'll
ginger's?
just say it's.
Yeah, we'll just
Alright.
pretend it's ginger and it's not actually like that.
Alright, I'm gonna give my yellow tofu curry a taste.
So far the curries here in England have been pretty amazing
Yeah.
and we haven't had a bad one yet. I think this is probably our third or fourth time having curry.
It's good.
Mine's technically not a curry.
Yeah, yours is a stew.
Holy crap.
Is it good?
So good.
So
Watch out, the coriander sauce is a little bit spicy.
spicy, spicy.
The meat's so tender.
Oh, that's so good.
It honestly just falls apart in your mouth.
They're both amazing. I can't tell which one I like better. I had to. I've heard that this is apparently the best chocolate in the world by numerous people, so I had to try it.
There's even a craft beer shop here. If it was a little bit later in the afternoon and I didn't have to drive, I'd definitely pull in there and have a beer or two.
So coming from Finland, this tastes like I'm probably getting my teeth. It tastes like the phaser chocolate there. And in Australia, it tastes like Nestle. I'm a fan. It's delicious. Do you want some before I eat it all? That's all you get in one square.
That's pretty good.
Oh, look at the pattern. Dotted around Oxford City, you'll find these really cute little fine stationery shops. Quite a few prolific authors drew inspiration from the town of Oxford itself, notably Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland and The Looking Glass, and also C.S. Lewis, who did the Chronicles of Narnia. So The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and that whole series. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Right behind me here is St Mary's Church. Apparently you can go up to the top of the tower. It does cost £5 to get in, so we're not going to do that. We're going to go through there and hang around the other side where the Radcliffe Camera Square is and check that out.
Since Kristy's brought up the paying to do things, a lot of the
popular buildings to see in Oxford, you do actually have to pay for. There's a car coming, so we'll hurry. You do have to pay for, and unfortunately for us, the pound is about double the Australian dollar, so it costs us an absolute fortune to do anything.
Double. Yeah, so anything. So if it's £10, it costs us 20 AUD. But having said that, a lot of things are free. A lot of the museums here are free. The Botanic Gardens, the parks, they're all free. So you can still come here on a budget. Actually inside St Mary's Church now. We didn't know that it was free to get in, but apparently it is. It's beautiful. I don't want to talk too loud though. So right behind me is the Radcliffe camera. It is such an iconic part of Oxford. If you ever see pictures or images of Oxford University, this is usually the focal point of it. It is right in the middle of the town. It was built by John Radcliffe, who actually is buried in St Mary's Church next to the camera, and it was built in the 1700s.
So it seems like the best way to get around Oxford is by bike. We've nearly been cleaned up like 10 times just walking around the streets, not really paying attention.
It feels like we're in Amsterdam. Another thing I don't think we mentioned is that Oxford University is actually made up of about 40 colleges, and they're scattered around the entire city. I thought it was just one university, but it's not. They're all sprawled out. I don't actually think we said that the Oxford University is the second oldest university in the entire world and the oldest English-speaking university in the entire world. So it's almost 1,000 years old. And although that the Oxford colleges here were built in the 13th century, women weren't actually allowed to attend until the late 1800s, and they weren't actually awarded their degrees until the 1920s. Can you believe that? Crazy.
We've come across this interesting building here to the left of me. It's a medieval timber building built in the 14th century, and if you look at the bottom, it's quite a lot smaller than the top, just because back then taxes were paid per square metre of the building. So each floor that it went up, it slowly got wider and wider. So it's 3 stories high, and on the top it's slightly bigger than the bottom.
So I think we're going to finish the vlog here, and in the next vlog we're going to be doing another day trip to Bath. So make sure you're watching that one.
See you later.
Bye.
We've come across this medieval building behind me that was actually built in the 14th century.
Steve has tried to give information on a building over here. It's like 3 levels. He knows the information about it, but every time something's happened, and the last time he finally got it right, and then a set of bagpipes came out, so it's put him in a bad mood.